Way. A speech in real talk style. Ladies, listen to me. Don't you ever mistake a man's silence for peace of mind. Don't think that just because he ain't blowing up your phone, stalking your Insta, or showing up to your job looking crazy that he's over you. Oh no, that's silence. That's just him playing cool. But deep down, he's still stuck. Still caught up, still obsessed. See, men, we got pride. We ain't always gonna let you see the storm inside us. But trust me when I tell you, when a good woman walks away, and he knows he fumbled, that his world don't just keep turning like nothing happened. No, baby, that silence, that's the scream of regret with the volume turned down. Oh, you wanna know what he's doing? While he's quiet, he's scrolling through your old pictures. He's listening to your song at midnight like he just discovered it for the first time. He's bringing your name up to his friends like, nah, man, she was different. Different? No, bruh, she was the one. You just didn't recognize it till it was too late. Now let me drop some truth right here. Oh, women are not rehab centers for broken men. You left because you had to, because he wasn't ready, because he thought you'd always be there. But now that you're gone, he's haunted. And that silence, that's him trying to figure out how to reverse time, how to hit hondo on every mistake he made. But here's the key. Don't let his silence drag you back. Don't let the absence fool you into thinking you were wrong to leave. Growth ain't loud. Healing ain't dramatic. And peace don't chase nobody. So walk on with your head held high. Because trust me, sis, he may be silent, but he ain't over you. Not by a long shot. We live in a world where people confuse silence with strength, distance with disinterest, and absence with freedom. But let me tell you something that might save your heart from unnecessary confusion. A man's silence doesn't always mean he's moved on. In fact, more often than not, it means the opposite. When a man is loud, chasing, calling, begging, it's obvious. But when he's quiet, that's when he's really in his feelings. That silence is heavy. It's not peaceful, it's stormy, it's not closure, it's confusion. And it's not freedom, it's fear. Fear of what he lost, fear of what he can't get back, and fear of watching you glow without him. You see, men have been taught to suffer in silence, to suck it up, to keep it together. So when a man loses a woman he genuinely cared for, someone who stood by him, loved him, encouraged him, he doesn't always know how to process that loss out loud. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that he doesn't know how to show he still does without looking weak, exposed, or vulnerable. So he stays quiet, he keeps it locked in. But deep down, he's playing reruns of your memories like a favorite old movie. He's reliving the good times like a highlight reel on loop. And let me be real with you, it takes more effort to stay silent than to speak up when your heart is hurting. If a man didn't care at all, he'd have no problem showing you he's over it. He'd move on with ease. But when a man is still emotionally tied to you, silence becomes his only defense mechanism. It's not detachment, it's desperation in disguise. It's him trying to convince himself that if he keeps quiet long enough, maybe the pain will go away. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he won't need to explain himself, but that silence, that's him crumbling inside and hoping nobody notices. Sometimes a silence is a man's way of keeping the connection alive without risking rejection. Because if he calls, you might not pick up. If he texts, you might leave him on read. So he does nothing, hoping that somehow in that nothingness, you'll still think of him. He's obsessed not just with you, but with the idea of what could have been. He replays the arguments. He rereads the messages. He tells himself he'll get over it. But then hears your name and gets knocked back down all over again. You might look at him and think, hey, he's fine. He's quiet. He must be living his best life. But you don't know what happens when he's alone, when the lights go out. When there's nobody to impress. That's when the silence gets loud. That's when your absence feels like a weight pressing down on his chest. That's when he realizes that no matter how quiet he stays, the thoughts of you are screaming inside his head. He might not say a word, but every breath he takes, every place he revisits, every scent that reminds him of you is proof that silence is not freedom, it's a prison. And don't let his social media fool you either. The gym selfies, the new car, the night outs with his boys, it's all camouflage, a highlight reel of distraction, not healing. Silence, in this case, is performance. It's the gap between his pride and his truth. And deep down, beneath all that stillness, is a man who's still caught up, still watching, still regretting. Still wishing things were different. Men don't cry the same way women do. They don't pick up the phone and call their best friend to talk about how they feel. They don't sit down and write in a journal or take a weekend trip just to heal their heart. That's not how most of them were raised. You see, from a young age, men are taught to be tough, to suppress emotion, to never let the world see them break. So when a man loses a woman he truly cared for, he doesn't break openly, he breaks internally, he bleeds in silence, and the world rarely sees the wound. where women are allowed to grieve openly, express freely, and seek support. Most men are left alone with their thoughts. They won't admit it, but after you leave, that man is up at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling, away, replaying every word of that final argument. He's asking himself, why did I say that? Why didn't I do more? But pride keeps him from picking up the phone. Pride keeps him from telling you what he really feels. And so his pain becomes quiet, but it runs deep. It's not less intense. It's just less visible. Here's what you need to understand when a man loses a real one, a woman who loved him deeply, stood by him through storms, believed in his potential. He doesn't just miss her. He questions himself. He starts looking in the mirror differently. Was I enough? Did I waste something rare? And that inner dialogue, it eats at him. But instead of working through it, he often buries it under distractions, another woman, a new hustle, more parties, louder laughs. He'll do anything to avoid facing the truth. That's how many men cope with activity, not honesty. The problem is those distractions are just band-aids over an unhealed wound. He might look like he's doing great, working out, showing up at the club, posting motivational quotes like he's suddenly some guru, but inside there's a war going on. Because men don't just lose a woman, they lose their peace. And when a man loses his peace, that's when the silence becomes dangerous. That's when obsession quietly settles in, not always with the woman herself, but with the idea of her, with the memory, with the guilt. Women often find closure in understanding. They ask questions, they analyze, they cry it out. Men, they run from it. They pretend it never happened. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It just means it hurts in a language they were never taught to speak. So when he's acting cold, distant, unbothered, don't assume he's unaffected. That's not healing you're seeing. That's emotional paralysis. That's him stuck between missing you and not knowing how to show it. So when you see a man silent after a breakup, don't automatically think he didn't care. He may be caring more than he ever has. He just doesn't know how to carry it. Because for a man, losing a good woman doesn't just sting in the moment. It haunts him long after, not with tears and tissues, but with regret and replay. Because when a man finally processes the loss, it's often too late, and that's a pain no amount of silence can quiet. Just because he's not liking your pictures doesn't mean he ain't looking at them. Just because he's not commenting or sliding into your DMs doesn't mean he's not hovering around, watching, observing silently. Let me break this down for you. He may be gone from your life physically, but digitally, spiritually, emotionally, he's still camped out on your timeline. You might not see his name pop up, but best believe he's watching from a burner account, from a friend's phone, or through mutuals. He's still keeping tabs on your every move. He wants to know what you're wearing, who you're with, how you're smiling without him. He wants to see if you're hurting like he is, but he's too prideful to ask. That's the irony. He's obsessed, but he won't admit. So instead, he watches silently, sacredly. And when he sees you out there living, glowing, laughing like you never skipped a beat, that burns him up inside. He wanted you to crumble. He expected you to fall apart. But instead, you're rising, and every post, every story, every glow-up selfie is a reminder that you're doing just fine without him. Now, don't let his silence fool you into thinking he doesn't care. He cares so much. He's studying you. He's analyzing who that guy is who keeps liking your posts. He's reading into your captions like they're coded messages. Was that about me? Is she talking to someone new? Has she moved on? And every time he sees you showing happiness, he questions whether he ever really knew you, or worse, if he was ever enough to make you happy in the first place. But he won't say a word. Nope. He'll sit there watching pretending like he's unbothered. Meanwhile, your name is still in his search bar. You're still bookmarked in his brain. He still remembers your favorite color. That one laugh you had when you were really tired, that perfume you wore on the night things almost fell apart. He's not just watching your present. He's haunted by your past. He's still reliving the moments while watching you create new ones without him. Here's the truth. Obsession doesn't always look like knocking on your door at midnight or blowing up your phone with missed calls. Sometimes it's silent, passive, lurking. And just because he's not making noise doesn't mean he's not tuned in. He's front row, center seat. No popcorn. Watching you like the season finale of a show he regrets quitting too soon. And every win you get, every post that radiates peace, it reminds him of what he lost. It reminds him of who you were when he had you and how much better you are now that he doesn't. So when you see that random view on your story, that sudden follow, unfollow from a private account, that's not coincidence. That's curiosity mixed with regret. That's him dipping in and out of your world. hoping to see a sign that maybe, just maybe, there's still a crack in the door, because even if he's gone silent, he hasn't let go. Not completely, not yet. You know what eats a man alive more than anything? Regret. Not just losing you, but knowing he had you, knowing you were all in, and still finding a way to mess it up. That realization doesn't hit him while you're packing your bags. It doesn't hit him when you stop texting back. It hits him in the quiet moments when the phone stops ringing, when your name disappears from his notifications, and when your presence, that warm and steady presence, becomes nothing more than an echo. That's when the weight of his mistakes starts to press down on him like a ton of bricks. He replays it all, every argument, every dismissive response. Every time he brushed you off like you were asking for too much when all you wanted was to be seen, to be chosen, to be heard. And now that you're gone, he hears it all, loud and clear. That silence isn't peace for him. It's a replay reel of where he went wrong. And the worst part, he can't press pause. He can't unsay what he said. He can't redo the moment he let his ego speak louder than your heart. So he sits in it. And that silence, that's him being haunted. Men don't always get haunted by ghosts. Sometimes they get haunted by the good woman they couldn't handle. The one who didn't just love him, she invested in him, believed in his potential, held him down, gave him chance after chance. And when she finally walked away, not because she stopped loving him, but because she finally loved herself more. That's the moment that sticks with him. Because deep down, he knows you didn't leave easily. He knows you stayed longer than you should have. So when you finally left, that's when the guilt moved in. He'll be driving alone, and your favorite song will come on. And suddenly, the wave it all hits him in the chest. He'll be out with friends laughing on the outside, but on the inside. He's thinking she would have loved this place. He'll scroll through old photos, reading old texts, and that little voice will whisper, look what you lost. That voice doesn't go away, not quickly, not easily. Because when a man loses a woman who genuinely saw him flaws and all, that memory lingers like a shadow he can't outrun. And the thing is, he might try to move on. He might jump into something new just to fill the silence. But guess what? That new woman, she's not you. She doesn't laugh the same. She doesn't push him to be better. She doesn't get him like you did. And every comparison only reminds him of what he messed up. It's not just that he lost a relationship, it's that he lost the person who wanted to build with him when he was still under construction. That kind of mistake, it leaves a mark. So while he's out there pretending like he's fine, like he's unbothered, like he's better off, don't believe the act. Because when the lights go down and the crowd clears out, it's just him and his memory of you, the one that won't let him sleep, the one that replays your last goodbye. The one that reminds him that he had everything and still dropped the ball. That's not peace, that's punishment. And whether he admits it or not, he's haunted. You might think walking away was quiet, that it didn't make much noise, that you just left, kept it classy, didn't block him away, didn't cause a scene, and maybe that's exactly what you did. But let me tell you something real, your absence speaks louder than anything you ever said. Louder than the arguments, louder than the pleading, louder than the explanations you gave that he never truly listened to. Your silence. That's the volume turned all the way up on what he chose to ignore. See, when you were there, he got used to the sound of your support, your voice cheering him on. Your love showing up in small, thoughtful ways. The texts to check in, the reminders to take care of himself, the patience you gave when he didn't even deserve it. But now, all of that is gone, and that empty space where your presence used to be, it's deafening. It's like walking into a room that used to be filled with laughter and now echoes with nothing but regret. Every morning he used to wake up to your messages. Now he wakes up to silence. Every moment he expected you to be there to fill the void, to fix the mess. Now he realizes that he has to sit with it. That space you left behind. It isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. You are his peace in the chaos, and without you, he's discovering just how loud his own world really is. And it's not beautiful, it's brutal. He didn't realize your presence had a rhythm, a heartbeat, a calm away. He didn't realize you were the reason he slept better at night or felt more focused during the day. Now he's struggling to stay centered because the one who kept him grounded isn't there anymore. That's the kind of absence that follows a man everywhere he goes. It walks into the room before he does. It sits with him while he eats. It whispers to him when he's alone. It's not just a void, it's a reminder. And trust this, he hears your absence in ways he never paid attention to your presence. When someone laughs like you did, he hears it. When someone wears that scent you always wore, it hits him in the chest. When he hears someone say a phrase you always used, his mind flashes back to you. He sees your shadow in places he used to take you. He feels your energy in songs you used to love. That absence doesn't fade, it just gets louder in quiet moments when he least expects it. Your presence was soft, but your absence, it's sharp, it cuts, it lingers, it follows him into the life he tried to live without you and reminds him every day of what he had and who he let walk away. Because now, in your silence, he finally hears everything you tried to say. But now there's no more explaining, no more fixing, just echoes of what used to be. There's a dangerous lie people tell themselves after a breakup. If he's quiet, he must be at peace. But silence and peace are not the same thing. Let's get that straight. Silence can be chaos in disguise. It can be a storm that's just not making noise. See, real peace, it comes with healing, with understanding, with growth. But silence can come from confusion, regret, pride, or emotional paralysis. Just because he's not speaking doesn't mean he's not suffering. Just because he's not reaching out doesn't mean he's not wrestling with what he lost. He may not be calling, but that doesn't mean he's calm. It just means he doesn't know what to say. Or worse, he knows what he wants to say, but doesn't know if he has the right to say it anymore. That's the kind of silence that screams. That's the kind of silence that keeps a man up at night, pacing the floor, checking his phone and then tossing it across the room because pride won't let him hit send. He's not healed. He's stuck. And sometimes silence isn't maturity, it's fear in a tuxedo. He might be out there acting like everything is fine, laughing, posting, working like nothing happened. But quiet pain is still pain. You know the saying, still waters run deep. A man can look composed on the outside while drowning on the inside. And oftentimes, that silence is his way of trying to maintain control. If he says nothing, maybe he won't feel it. If he avoids the subject, maybe it'll all just fade. But what really happens? The silence starts to eat at him, day by day, piece by piece. Let's not forget some men stay silent because they know they messed up so badly. They don't even feel worthy of making noise anymore. They stay in the shadows not because they're over you, but because they're ashamed. Ashamed of how they treated you. Ashamed of how they didn't show up when it mattered. That's not peace, that's that punishment wrapped in pride. So when people tell you, at least he's quiet now, don't assume that means he's healed. Silence can be the loudest form of suffering. And here's another thing. They might try to silence the outside world, but they can't silence their mind. When your voice used to guide them, and now it's gone. That leaves an echo. And they might turn off their notifications, but they can't mute the memories. They can log out of apps, but they can't log out of their conscience. And every moment of silence becomes a mirror, a reflection of who they were and who they weren't when they had you. So don't let his calm demeanor confuse you. He's not floating on some peaceful wave of closure. More often than not, he's clinging to pride, trying not to drown in everything he never said. Because silence might look like control, but inside it's often the chaos of a man realizing he let something beautiful slip through his fingers. And no amount of quiet can bring comfort when his soul is unsettled. So ladies, hear me loud and clear. Don't be fooled by the silence. His silence doesn't mean he's healed. It doesn't mean he's happy. And it sure as hell doesn't mean he's over you. Silence is not strength when it's built on regret. Silence is not peace when it's soaked in obsession. And silence is not closure when it's coming from someone who never had the courage to love you right in the first place. But more importantly, don't let his silence pull you back. Don't let his quiet presence on your page, in your inbox, or in your energy keep you chained to a chapter you already outgrew. You're not crazy for walking away. You're not cold for choosing peace. You're not heartless for protecting your soul. You were brave enough to do what he couldn't. You faced the truth. You let go, you grew. So yes, he may still be obsessed. Yes, he may still watch from the sideline. But guess what? You're the main character now. And the story doesn't stop just because he's stuck on a scene you've already moved past. Let him sit in that silence. Let him wrestle with his regret. Because you've got better places to be, brighter rooms to walk into, deeper love to receive. His silence may be loud, but your peace is louder. Keep walking, keep shining, keep choosing you.